In addition to groups as a feature on Blackboard, the discussion board is also available as a feature that allows students to collaborate within their class. Unlike groups, the discussion board is a bit more open and more of a class-wide discussion rather than a smaller, more intimate groups discussion. And so I'm going to share my screen with you real quick, show you how the discussion board works and how you can utilize it within your courses. So under student collaboration, you're going to see the discussion board here. And when you click on it, you're going to have the ability to create a forum. When you click on create a forum, you're just going to title it. So let's pretend the students are doing an assignment where they have to look up something related to campus activities. And so let's call this club investigation, where students have to find a club, okay? You would put the instructions here, what the assignment is, what the students are responsible for. You can set due dates and times of availability for this particular discussion. And then when students are uploading threads, and that's what their posts are kind of called, you have several options. You can have a standard view, or you can have participants create a thread in order to view other threads in this forum. And that's kind of advantageous where if you want students to kind of have independent thoughts, by hiding all the other threads, it forces students to create their own thread without reading through what other students are writing. And then they can finally see what everyone else has written and then comment on other people's posts. But if you want students to just have free reign over the discussion board to read and write more openly, then I would just leave it at standard view. I do at times grade the discussion board forums, and I also grade their posts or comments on other discussions, but you don't have to do that. But you can definitely click on grade threads or grade the forum, however you decide to do it. For the alignments, you can either leave it as an open forum or you can have the threads. I usually just leave it as forum. If you want, you can allow students to subscribe to a particular forum. And what's nice about that is when they subscribe, they'll get notifications when updates have been made to particular forums or threads. However, if that's not something you're interested in, they could just check that on their own. And then you could just say, do not allow subscriptions. Now, under create and edit, this is where you're going to kind of get to dictate how those posts are done. So for example, you can allow students to post anonymously. And frankly, I actually use this when I'm asking for students to give me feedback about how I'm doing within the course. And I allow anonymous feedback there because it removes the fear of any potential bias or penalties if they were to say something negative about what I'm doing. And so they can hide their post or at least hide their names so that I don't know who it is. I would just monitor it to make sure everything's okay. And I've never had an issue with it, but if language became an issue or if something was too aggressive, I usually would either remove the post or just shut that particular forum down and just it is what it is. But you can allow anonymous posts. You can allow authors to delete their own posts or edit them in case there were typos and they wanted to make adjustments to it. You could have them create their own new threads, file attachments, whatever it is, and then a couple of additional options as well. But once you're done, you click submit, and the discussion board thread gets posted. So you can see this is the whole forum. So as threads, this is a thread. As you're creating more and more of them, they'll come listing down here. And so if I click on club investigation, you can create a thread and you can start typing into it. So from a student preview, when you go in here, if I were to go to the discussion board, you can see this is what the student will see. They'll click on it. I didn't put any instructions in here, but had I had done that, this is where the instructions would come up and they would be able to post to this forum. Okay, so that's essentially how the discussion board works, and that's more for like a larger class discussion, not so much group work as much as a sharing of ideas, which is slightly different than the groups feature from a collaborative perspective. So there's two different options you have. The groups option is more of an intimate setting. The discussion board is more of like an open forum conversation. And so depending on how you want to set up your assignments and how you want to set up your classes, both of those options will be available for you to utilize.